Hi, everybody. Welcome to Katie in the Morning and happy National Skilled Nursing Care Week. This is the week we talked about it on yesterday, actually, celebrating our stories. We appreciate AHCA for bringing that up, that theme up for us, and we definitely want to help you guys celebrate in any way that we can. As certified nursing assistants, we are required to do 12 hours of continuing education on a year basis in order to keep our certification up to date. And I know how boring I've been a CNA for 15 years, 15 years in May, actually. So I know how boring it is to have the same information over and over and over and over again. And when it comes to fire safety, which is our topic today, they always tell you how to do things, the order to do them in, kind of the protocol. But one of the things I want to talk to you guys about today is kind of how to deal with those emotions after you handle a crisis. So we're going to go through the standard protocol for fire safety, and then we're going to take a break. And after we come back from the break, we'll talk about how to deal with those emotions and kind of calming yourself down after you do encounter an incident like that. So when it comes to fire safety, the main thing that you have to remember is RACE: rescue, alarm, contain, evacuate, or extinguish. The first thing that you want to do in the race timeline, I guess you would call it, is rescue the residents that are in immediate danger. Anyone that's in the room with the fire, if it's a small fire, get them out and get them away. Residents need to be behind a fire safe door or fireproof door in order for them to be considered safe. The second one is alarm. That's when you want to raise the alarm, let everybody know there is a fire. In most facilities, there's a panel that people can go to, or they'll put it on the intercom system, what section the fire's in, so everybody knows who's available to come and get those residents out of there. Contain means you want to make sure the windows are shut so there's no oxygen getting into that room, the door's shut, and kind of contain that fire to the smallest space that you possibly can. And then the last one is extinguish or evacuate, depending on the size of the fire. If it's a small fire like a garbage can, cigarette disposals, I've seen probably a dozen of those catch on fire in the last 15 years outside in the smoke room or the smoke shack. People don't put them out, they just throw them in there, and then 15 minutes later you have yourself a little awful smelling fire. But those are very, very easily put out with a fire extinguisher. Make sure you're checking. Every facility is required to have a map with the fire exits and where the fire extinguishers are located. And check with your maintenance guy. They're very, very good about this, but making sure that the maintenance is done on those extinguishers, making sure you have the right kind of extinguisher for the right kind of fire. And you guys can check all that out in your NVCC education platforms as an individual member, as a facility sponsor member, or a premier member. That fire safety is one of the required education modules that is available to everybody. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to kind of talk about how to deal with those emotions after you encounter these kinds of incidences.
I promise you, in a NACA facility, residents get better care because they're being cared for by a higher educated, and I'm not talking college, I'm talking a person that has industry education. This makes them the best at the bedside, and we've proven it time and time again.
NACA takes care of our CNAs, the most important force within any long-term care community.
What a pleasure it has been and will continue to be to have the partnership that we have in Arizona, and I would really encourage other states to do the same.
Any facility out there that may be watching this that would like to go through the NACA process of transformation, you get a hold of NACA and we'll be there to serve with excellence every day, all day, anytime you need us.
For more information, visit us online at nacacna.org or call 417-623-6049. From the Heart, a weekly segment with John Willard, airs every Tuesday at 2:30 Central Time on CNA TV.
Welcome back to Katie in the Morning. So with our programming as a CNA, they're constantly telling us this is how you need to do things, this is order that you're doing them, and this is why you're doing them. But that's pretty much where it leaves off. There's no post-emotional training on how to deal with that kind of thing. Fires, especially, people react in different ways. Some people become very, very scared. Some people become angry if it's a situation that they've lost somebody or weren't able to get there in time, that sort of thing. And the one thing we need to remember is that as a team, it's okay to lean on each other. It's okay to express those emotions. My husband's always telling my 2-year-old, oh, or boys don't cry. That's a girl thing. Don't cry. Be tough. Well, no, I'm not okay with that. It's okay to cry, no matter if you're a man, a woman, young, old. It's okay to let those emotions out because bottling them up and keeping them inside is definitely not the healthy way to go. If you are a solitary consoler, I guess it would be considered consolee, maybe. I just made that word up probably, but it sounds good. Tell your nurse or your administrator, your DON, I need a few minutes to get myself together. Excuse yourself off the floor so those residents aren't seeing you reacting to that situation. As professionals, we're there to make them feel safe and make them feel comfortable. And when we kind of spin out of control with our emotions, that definitely puts that whole thing in a crisis. That whole persona that we're putting on. It's not even a persona. It's a oh, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a oh, I can't even think of the word. It's a credential really for caregivers to be that person that they can lean on, be that protector, be that comforter. And like I said, when we react out of hand, I shouldn't even say out of hand. If we react in a bigger way, it definitely will set the entire place off. Your residents are going to see you reacting, and they're going to react to your reaction. But even if you need a couple days off of work, talk to your SD coordinator, your scheduler, your DON, your administrator, whoever it is that you need to talk to, because they will appreciate the fact that you're recognizing that you need to get you right before you come back to work. They may ask you to find your own replacement, but that's just something that we have to deal with, even when it comes to loss and grief. With residents, tornadoes are a horrible, horrible disaster here in Joplin. We had one 7 years ago. And it was a terrible, terrible situation. And they have like grief counselors coming in and that sort of thing. There was lots of lives lost. But that's definitely, I wish there would have been more training for CNAs back then on how to deal with those emotions and post-traumatic stress disorder and that sort of thing. So I really wanted to bring that to the table to you guys today and kind of let you know that it's okay to deal with emotions. Just try to keep it out of the viewing line of the residents, as we are their professional caregivers. I thank you guys for joining me today, and I will see you right back here tomorrow for Katie in the morning. Do not forget to check out the Pro Shop for the Boxo buttons that is available right now for $45. It's 100 buttons. Like I said, I will see you right back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. for Katie in the morning.